Pregame.com.
NFL action on Sunday. It's the Ravens at the Browns. We've got Baltimore laying 3.5, total 42.5. Welcome to pregame.tv for Sunday. Ravens went into their bye week off of 2 horrible performances in a row. We're lucky to have split those games against Houston and Dallas. They were outgained by the Texans 420 to 176, Marco, in that 30-point loss. They were outgained the week before 481 to 316 by Dallas. We're fortunate to escape with a 2-point win. They've just not looked like the better team on the field in a lot of their games this season. And in fact, they're lucky that they beat Kansas City a few weeks ago. How do you see the Baltimore Ravens come into this game against the Cleveland Browns?
Well, no question. Coming off their worst loss of the season, the bye couldn't have come at a better time. And I've always said, teams going into a bye on a bad note, they're going to be focused, they're going to be angry, they're going to be hungry. They're going to come out of the bye week with fire in their eyes. Teams that go into the bye, everything's, great. What are you going to do? What are you going to fix? You're going to rest on your laurels. So I think you're going to get a very good effort out of Baltimore. People are going to look at this and all of a sudden Cleveland, they don't look so bad the last couple weeks. They beat Cincinnati a few weeks back. Then they played a tight game against the Colts where they could have won it. They dropped in typical Cleveland fashion. They dropped the touchdown pass wide open in his hands. And then last week they got the win in an ugly game against the San Diego Chargers, which you talk about a dysfunctional team. That's probably one of the more them, and they should schedule San Diego and Philadelphia to play one another. That would be interesting. But I'm going to look at this game, and I go back to the first meeting, and that's the basis for me in this play. And they already played. It was a Thursday night game. Baltimore was a big favorite in that game, 11-point favorite, and it was a nail-biter, 23-16. It went right down to the end. So people are going to just look at scores and say, wow, Cleveland on the road, they hung with them. Now they're at home getting 3.5. This looks attractive. But we'll dig a little deeper in here and we'll see why it's not as attractive as it may appear.
Well, before we get to your pick on this one, by the way, your best bet on this one, we'll talk to Bryan about the fact that, first of all, I was checking out Sportsbook Spy and I saw that 90% of the ATS tickets on this game so far midweek have been written on the Baltimore Ravens minus the points. So the public is jumping on Baltimore coming off that bye week. Also wanted to mention what you did. I completely agree with that first matchup. It was an 11-point. We're talking about a 7.5-point difference right now from that game to this game in the same season for Baltimore. They've dominated this series, winning 9 straight, covering 6 of those. But Ray Rice only ran for 48 yards in that contest against Cleveland. And we got a fly buzzing around here, guys. But anyway, as they go into this game, isn't this a point with how bad their offense has been playing, talking about the Ravens and this hurry-up offense, which was supposed to really boost this team to the next level? He only had 48 yards against Cleveland first time. Don't you finally say, hey, Ray, here you go. Take us to the promised land. Here's your 25 touches rather than your 15.
Yeah, giving the ball to Ray Rice would help the defense, too. And Marco pointed this out really early in the season, that when you have an elder team like, Baltimore Ravens, the more faster you score, the longer you're going to have the defense on the field. And, I'm a Cleveland native. I'm well aware of this history. Baltimore's won 9 straight times in this series, each time by 6 points or more. I've always liked, and I don't know what he's going to pick in this game, but I've always liked a team coming off of a bad, embarrassing performance, which is what Baltimore's had. Now they got an extra week, which makes it even more strong, and they're playing a team that they know they can kick their butt. You take a look at Cleveland, and I don't want to steal any of your thunder here, and I probably shouldn't be talking as much about it, but Cleveland has a bye next week. It's a team that has only won 3 out of their last 15 games straight up. They're coming off a win, satisfying win, 7-6. Big offensive explosion for the Browns. But now they got the bye next week, and they're playing a team that they never beat. So if you're a Browns player, do you get excited? Do you finally get a chance to beat Baltimore? Or are you thinking, hey, I got my vacation around deck here, so?
I agree. Let's get to Baltimore. We've dissected this one as much as we can. Let's get to Marco's best bet.
All right, guys, this is my video best bet. We got to stop the losing streak on the video best bet. I can guarantee you guys one thing. You will not hear the words Kansas City Chiefs out of my mouth anymore this season after last week. But we're looking here at the Baltimore Ravens. And the one thing we didn't talk, and I saved it to the end, when they met the first time this year and Baltimore only won by 7, I tell you, I'm a situational handicapper. The situation in that game was so bad for Baltimore. They were just coming off a Sunday night football football game against the New England Patriots, the team that knocked them out of the AFC Championship game, a game that the Baltimore Ravens were the better team in. They dropped the pass in the end zone that would have sent them to the Super Bowl. Also, that was their 4th game in an 18-day period. Remember that? It was a horrible scheduling situation for them, playing 4 games. They opened up on a Monday night, have that Sunday night, play on a Thursday night. Crazy schedule situation. Now they've had a week to prepare. Yes, they've got some defensive injuries, but now you've had time to make some adjustments. They will have done that. Suggs is back for the 2nd game. He should be better this week than he was the 1st game and be a little more of an impact. And Bryan Leonard and Scott both hit it on the head. You got to run the ball in this game. Protect your defense and see Rice get a lot more touches. I like the Baltimore Ravens. They're only laying 3.5 in this game. You're going to tell me at 3.5, last week the San Diego Chargers were laying 3 to Cleveland, that San Diego's only a 0.5 point worse than Baltimore on a neutral field? No way. Baltimore, we're getting value. They roll big. This is my video best bet of the week.
Wish you wouldn't beat around the bush with these games that you give out, these best bets. Anyway, you said you're not saying Kansas City. Let me take Kansas City. I was with Kansas City last week with you, so I know you're paid. Anyway, good stuff. Baltimore is Marco's best bet, 3.5 point favorite at Cleveland over the Browns. When we come back, more NFL, Dallas and Atlanta from the Georgia Dome. Stick around.